But I genuinely do believe that as we can strengthen relationships, it has this ripple effect in communities and in the world.
Welcome to the Masterful Coach Podcast with Molly Claire. If you're a coach who's ready to impact more lives, make more money, and create a life you love, you're in exactly the right place. Get the support you deserve as a female entrepreneur. Master your coaching skills, grow your ideal business, and honor your priorities in your personal life. Are you in? Let's get started with your host, best-selling author and master life and business coach, Molly Claire.
How are you?
Hey, Molly, doing good. Thanks for having me.
Good. This is great. We tried to record yesterday. We ran into some tech hiccups. We're going to try again today.
Sounds good. Let's
right?
do it.
If you're listening to this, we made it through, right? That's how we know if it worked.
Yes.
So today we're going to talk about the impact of coaching on families. And I wanted to have Steph come on the podcast because Steph, just speak a little bit about what you're passionate about with your coaching.
Yeah, so I am a coach for moms and daughter connection. And coaching is just, I feel like it's just been such a powerful part of my life. And I love working with moms and daughters. That relationship is such an important relationship. And as we all know, life has a lot of ups and downs, unexpecteds. And sometimes we just don't even know how to relate with our own kids as kids grow and change through the years and as they meet different obstacles in their lives. And coaching has just been so helpful to know how to process it, how to work through it, how to be there for your kids, how to kind of put aside your own thoughts or struggles on certain things that your kids may be facing and just be with them in that. It's a great place to be, good group of mamas to work with.
It really is. And I think, so I wanted to have Steph here for this conversation because she did advanced certification in motherhood and family life coaching. I've worked with Steph for a while. She's in master coach training, and Steph just really has such a heart for families and the power that exists within families. And so I thought, what better person to have come on this episode? Because really family relationships, and here's the thing I will say, even the word families and family relationships can be pretty triggering for people. And it's a very sensitive topic. And I want to just acknowledge this starting out here, that I know what it's like from working with clients and firsthand in my own experience, that it can be a really sensitive topic where you wish your family situation were different. You struggle, you know that a lot of important things happen in the family, and yet that brings even more pressure or fear. So I want to just acknowledge that. And if that's coming up for any of you, stay with us on this episode, because my hope is that this is going to bring a little extra peace and actually really kind of smooth out some of those things you may come up against.
Yes.
So I want to acknowledge that because really though, and I know Steph, you are a believer in this, those family relationships, they do matter for our individual growth. And by the way, that doesn't mean that the family relationships have to be perfect, but they do matter, right? It's worth paying attention to. And it also impacts really how we as individuals contribute to society.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, these are the people that we, invest all of our time, our thoughts, and our efforts into. And it's also the place where we can have the most joy, but the most pain, the most guilt, the most shame, like all of these things. And
Yes.
And it's hard too, because you have these little ones and you love them and you pour everything into them, and then they start to grow into teenagers and they start thinking for themselves. They start doing things that you just don't understand, or they struggle with things that you just think, how on earth? I don't even know this person anymore sometimes. And yet you still want to be connected with them because you love them. Sometimes you don't really like them, but you love them and you want what's best for them. But, to even sometimes get them to make eye contact with you can be hard, and it can be painful sometimes to be a parent, whether you're a mother or a father. There can be days where you just want to sit in the corner and cry because you aren't feeling the connection with these children that you know you want to have with them. And it can be hard.
It is. And I think in a way it's funny, but it's kind of unexpected. That's the only way I know how to describe it. Cause I know I can say for myself, I always knew that I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to have kids. It was something that I just had a big heart for. And I want to acknowledge that not every woman feels that way. And that's okay too. I don't think of one
Sure.
is better than the other.
Oh,
But for me, it definitely is a big part of me and who I am. Then I had kids and I'm like, I'm horrible at this. I was like, none of this makes sense. Like all the books don't work for my kid. And it's just like, it is a
yeah.
lot. And now, having a teenage daughter who, oh my gosh, I adore her. And I am grateful she and I are so close. And I will say, and this really lends itself perfectly to what we're talking about today, I'm so grateful to have coaching because she and I have some similarities, but we have quite a few pretty big differences in
Mhm.
personality and preferences and even in the way she is within her emotions. And I just think, oh my gosh, like I'm so grateful for the power of coaching. And Steph and I are going to talk about this idea of coaching the whole person and how much it's allowed me to just have such an awesome relationship with her.
Yes, yes. When you were talking about, there's certain differences. So I have 5 daughters, and not one of them is the same. Like they're so different. And I've had to learn through the years how to connect with them and how to, one day you think you're their best friend, and the next day or even the next minute, you're just like, oh, wait, who is this human? And so, yeah, coaching is so important, and the different tools and skills we can bring in to help connect is just so powerful and so important. And I love how you talked about the whole person, yes, whole person coaching, meeting you in the way you need to be met, mentally and physically and
Mhm.
spiritually, and feeling grounded in that helps me, I know, be a different mom, to meet my kids in a
Mhm.
different way, to connect with them and love them and see them through different eyes. And if I don't take that time for myself to
Mhm.
work through things I need to work through before I interact with them, it's a night and day difference on the way that I interact with my
Oh,
kiddos.
it really is. And this
Mhm.
is one thing. So, we're going to be talking in this episode quite a bit about this idea of looking at the whole person, this whole person coaching approach. And there are a couple of episodes where I've talked more about this holistic approach to coaching. You can listen to some of those episodes as well, where I'm talking about the holistic master coach training and also some interviews. But we're going to talk quite a bit about it today. And really, in essence, what we're talking about is as coaches, we are so much better equipped to help our clients when we understand how to help them from a cognitive entry point, from and also understanding emotions and their emotion set, their go-to emotions, and how to be with and process those, understanding the nervous system, and also the type of action coaching that will be effective. And so these are kind of the four pillars that what we're talking about, and kind of sharing that experience in using that. And one of the things that I love, Steph, as you were talking, I think about how, when I'm teaching all of you as my students how to learn these four pillars, right? I'm first and foremost using these as I'm coaching you, right?
Mhm.
All of you, all of my clients in there are, you're using this for yourself, you're using it with your clients. And even though you're not teaching it to your clients, in a sense, you are helping your clients understand these different pieces of themselves, which allows them to be better parents, right? Better moms, better dads.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, so often we get stuck in a rut of parenting a certain way or being a certain way with our kids. And if there's just even just a little bit of something new that we learn, another way to tap into us as a whole person, and to be able to interact with them in a different way, oh my goodness, doors are opened and connections can be made that you didn't think you could even make. Yeah, there's a quote I love from I think it was Joanna Gaines, and she talks about how letting go reveals what else our arms were made to hold, or to
Mhm.
create, or to touch. I can't remember her word, but I remember thinking, I love that, and I feel like that's in essence what the whole person coaching is. You understand all these different ways that you can interact and connect as a whole person, like you said, the
Mhm.
cognitive and the emotion work and the
Mhm.
actions and all things, and being able to see what else, if you let go of what you're hanging onto so tightly and just kind of
Mhm.
come at your, help your kids connect in a whole way, you can
Mhm.
see what else
Mhm.
you can do with them and how you can connect
Mhm.
with them.
Yes. And I want to talk about really the importance of, as coaches, supporting moms and dads. So some of you listening to this, you may have a mom niche or a dad niche or a parenting niche. And yet all of you here most likely have clients, right, that are moms, that are dads. And I think it can be an easy place that we can dismiss because the benefits, or the, what am I going to say, the results of it are not things like higher income or, a weight loss goal. They're so intangible, they're pretty challenging, and they're so personal. And
Mhm.
the incredible, it's kind of like the incredible outcome of this could be kind of invisible. And I think that's why it's so important that we acknowledge really how important it is, for a
Mhm.
couple of reasons. One is that, like, what an important space to support human beings in, right? Because that parenting space is very personal, is very vulnerable, and it impacts the children that we're raising, right? And so not only is that an important space to be in terms of that support, but I genuinely do believe that as we can strengthen relationships, it has this ripple effect in communities and in the world.
Yeah, and and it helps them to feel more confidence too. Coaching parents helps them have confidence in their home, which then also, like you said, it's a ripple effect. Their kids are going to have more confidence, feeling that connection in the home, and they're going to take that out with them into the world. So yeah, this is a really great place to be as a coach. And the things that you teach us in master certification on how to connect and help parents understand how to connect with their kids, how to connect with themselves. Yeah, it's very powerful and it is far reaching. And
Yes.
it's and you talked about how, like, this, it's not the big money maker business, helping them teach how to build a business or whatever, but it does affect all of that in their life, because if things at home are they're peaceful or they're grounded at home and they feel like they can now focus at work and be at work, and they're not thinking in the back of their head about all the chaos at home, they're better employees or they're better business people or whatnot. So having home base be a calm, peace, and connected place, that does help everything else in their
Oh
lives.
my gosh, 100%. And I think that's where we can definitely communicate that in our marketing as well. Like, it's important
Mhm.
to help our clients see some of those bigger pieces of the puzzle sometimes, right? Depending on what they're looking for as far as changes in their life. But even if they're not, it's like it's such a bonus added benefit, right? Because it's true. And I know, Steph, like your husband, because you're the one doing master coach training and doing this work, but as you've been kind of sharing with him what you've been learning, and as he's been seeing himself as a whole person, and you guys have done some work together, it's had a
Mhm.
huge positive impact on him and your whole
Absolutely.
family and everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, it really has. And it has. So I have some of my daughters experience anxiety, and to be able just to teach them some of the things that I have learned has really helped the quality of their life in so many
Mm-hmm.
ways too. I mean, that's powerful. Learning what we learn, we can send it out there to everyone else, and they feel it from you too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's interesting that, the greatest peace and joy can come from a grounded person, and you kind of can spread that
Mm-hmm.
out. People can feel that from you. And as a coach, having these skills and knowledge on how to ground yourself and how to work with your nervous system, that
Mm-hmm.
is something, then your clients feel that from you and they want more of that in their life as well. And yeah, it is. It's a great ripple effect. And then they take it into their homes.
Mm-hmm.
Then their kids take it out into society. And what a blessing. What a great thing that is. We need more of
Yes. I
that.
mean, right? Well, and I think as we're talking, I'm thinking about how I really do. see that we just almost have this like epidemic of like, we talk about the obesity epidemic, right? And how, I mean, we can see so many of these things kind of, these, I'm going to have her edit this part out. I'm going to back up just a little bit on this part because I tripped over my words just a little bit there. Um, as we're talking, I'm thinking about how I really just think relationships and people's ability to connect and even attachment is really struggling like across the board right now. I mean,
Yes.
it's everywhere, right? And I don't think that we realize how much that affects each individual's life, right? If we
Mhm.
struggle with relationship at home, guess what? We take that with us out into the world, and then it becomes the child's adult relationship challenges, right? And things we
Mhm.
don't really even know are there. And I think about, like, just for a minute, I'll say some of the lessons and benefits for me with regard to coaching with my three kids. So I have three kids, vastly different,
Yeah.
and right, vastly different.
Yeah.
And I think about my oldest son and some of the things that I missed early on as a parent and did not realize it until I dove more into this work that we do, right?
Mhm.
So I do all the things, right? I'm there with my kids, I'm present. Like if you made a list or took a picture of how I was as a mom, like it was pretty okay. It was checking the boxes. Of course, I felt inadequate because, I didn't really, because that's kind of what we do until we learn to heal that part of us. But I think just the ability to just be present with him and be still was lacking. And
Mhm.
because I hadn't developed that skill, I didn't even understand the importance of it. And I think, right, that's one of those little things that as we increase our skills as coaches and our ability to do that and to help our clients do it, right, they're able to have that connection with their kids.
Yes. Oh, it's so powerful. It's so true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, they feel it. They feel it from
Yeah.
their parents. If their parents have that skill, but it's something that needs to be taught for most of us.
We didn't, most of us, this is the thing, like most people, well, I can't make a blanket statement like that. I
Right.
continue to be, I continue to be surprised at how many people did not have emotional needs met in childhood and didn't even realize it. We don't even know what this means, right? And then it's like, oh my gosh, like we didn't learn how to be with emotions. We didn't understand the purpose in them. But I
Mhm.
think it's different now. I think we are across the board, like we are all learning and understanding more about this.
I agree. Yeah, and aren't we so lucky to be at this time in life that that's what that's being talked about more and taught more, and if we can help our kids, as coaches, if we can help the parents that we coach or whoever our clients are, help them understand this more, it will be taken home because it doesn't matter what your niche is and who you coach. The reality is everyone has family. you
Yes.
know, and quite honestly, like even if your family are fur babies, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Everybody has somebody that they connect with. Even if you don't have a dog, but you have friends. I mean, we have families, we build our own families around us, our family structures.
Mhm.
And if we're able to know how to connect on a different way with them, and what do I want to say here? Just to be able to connect and have more of a emotional connection and resilience and regulate and understand how to do all of that, those relationships and that connecting go to a deeper level. And
Mhm.
there's more
Mhm.
peace in that person, and there's more peace in that relationship, and there's a deeper connection. And that's just more valuable than anything, that feeling of peace and
It
that connection.
it really is. And I know everyone listening here has a little bit different family situation. I'm a
Mhm.
single mom. I know some people live with extended family, or even just have created family, right? With friends and with community. And
Yeah.
I think at the core of it is, are we learning enough about ourselves? Are we able to know ourselves and be with ourselves and self-connect enough to know, or to be able to have the capacity to have those deep relationships
Mhm.
with the people around us, right? And with our family, and to be able to really be an influence. And as you were talking, I'm going to skip to my, I had mentioned I'll speak to each of my three kids, but I'll skip to my daughter because she's my youngest. And exactly what you said, Steph, has been the superpower for me with her, is as I've done this work of understanding more about my nervous system and emotional regulation, and as we talk about in the training, right, untangle to connect, and the ability for me to be a steady emotional force in her life. Oh my gosh, right? Because she's 13 and it's up and it's down and it's all over the place. And then what happens, right? We all do this. It's like we get frustrated with our own ability to manage our emotions, right? And
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
here you have, my daughter, and she's up and she's down, and she can be impulsive. And then, of course, she has all of this negative self talk about herself about it.
Yes.
And when I can be steady, when I can be in tune with myself, I can regulate my nervous system, I can regulate my emotions, and I can be steady and be able to connect with her in that way, no matter where she is. Oh my gosh, right? Like,
Yes.
what a difference.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the power in this work.
Yeah.
That's the beauty. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it allows her, and this is really what I think the essence of this is, it allows a space right here in our relationship for her to have the support and guidance she needs from me, right? Where she can rely on me as a parent, because in truth, when we're up and down as a parent, we're not providing that steady parental force and guidance that our client, that are not our client, that our child needs, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's no need to feel bad about this, right? We're all human. We're all going to do that. And yet
Mhm.
it is worth investing in really up leveling the way we show up for our kids, because I think
Mhm.
kids deserve to have a parent, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So good. Yeah. And I love everything you've said. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm honestly just sitting here taking it all in. This is like, yes, Molly, absolutely. You're right. This
Yeah.
is so good. These are important things.
Uh, okay, so and then, and I'll just speak really quickly to my middle son, and then I want to talk about a couple more things, and I feel like we're going to need to do another episode, because I try to keep these episodes concise for my audience, but sometimes there's so much good stuff. It's like I think about my middle son, and I think, thank goodness for the cognitive work that I've been able to do, that has really allowed me to open up my framework of what his life looks like and how I'm supposed to parent him. Because we all know, like, coming into parenting, we think we're going to know what we're doing, and we have this idea of like the path our kids are going to take, right? And I just remember early on with my middle son thinking, okay, he is his own man. He is going to do whatever he knows he wants to do and it's right for him.
Mhm.
And so it really, in a way, allowed me to open up to really appreciating who he is and
Yes.
what matters to him, and
Yeah.
being able to be for me, I feel really proud of the way I've been able to just be genuinely excited about supporting him and bringing his gifts to light. And it's
Mhm.
so fun, right? That's one of the beautiful things, is when we can appreciate our kids for who they are. And I think it requires this personal work for ourselves to not get our ego or our emotions or whatever caught up in our kids, because they're a
Uh-huh.
separate person.
Absolutely. Well, and it's so interesting too, as we have kids, how what we knew and we're so absolute on, it starts to change. We start to kind of understand that if we want to stay connected with our kids, we need to understand how to stay connected with our kids. And some of that is change within us, and it's inside work for us that we need to do. Um,
Yes.
because they are so individual, and like I was saying, just the different stages of life for them, different trials and challenges that they face, and they're going to meet it differently than we may have met it, or we may not even know how we would have dealt with certain situations. And to be able to know how to connect with yourself and to be balanced and grounded as a whole person is so important. And
Mhm.
I've really loved in our master's certification the different things that you've had Leah Davidson come in and teach us. And I'm looking forward to what's up and coming with the grief with Krista.
Mm,
I just feel like there's just so many great elements. And you brought in a little bit about the untangle to connect. That is so powerful. I feel like that's a
mhm,
concept that as parents, we don't think about that. That sometimes we have to
mhm,
just untangle ourselves from what we think our kids should be doing, who we think they should be,
mhm.
what they should value, what all this, and just untangle and just really look at this person in front of you and connect with them and love them for who they are so individually and genuinely them. And then you're able to really have a different relationship and be on the level with them that you would love to have that awesome
Yes,
connection with them.
yes, yes. And I mean, I can say from, my middle son, like it's just been so fun to see him forge his path. And, he does his thing and then he comes to me, he's like, Mom, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I might do. Right. And we talk and I'm like, here's my opinion, take it with a grain of salt. And then we talk about the things that matter to him and who he is. And it's just like, it's been so fun to see him just thrive and move forward in his life. And I think, thank goodness, I let go of thinking he should be different or I should be parenting a certain way. And
Uh-huh.
such beautiful things come of it. So um,
Absolutely.
okay, so tell me, I want to ask a couple more things before we wrap up here. Um, yeah, Steph, tell me your thoughts about this idea of bringing this whole person approach to coaching, right? As we're looking at our clients, we're seeing all these different pieces and parts of them, and
Mhm.
how being able to understand the full picture of our client helps us do more than just like solve problems, right? It's kind of like we can solve problems in a practical sense, like, okay, well, there's a busy schedule or there are things we can do, but how do you think that this whole person approach allows more of the deeper meaning in their relationships?
Mhm. Well, I think we live in a world that is just so fast paced and we
Mhm,
really life does not naturally create opportunities for self connection.
mhm,
Really, I mean, the second people wake up, they're grabbing their cell phones, they're seeing what's next, or just go, go, go. And the majority of households that in America, I would say, are two income households to where that means mom and dad are both trying to manage the schedules of work and the demands of work, and they're trying to be parents as well and are not creating time for themselves to connect with themselves. So I feel like the whole person approach, it's really it's a way to help them understand and see themselves as a whole person instead of just that task, do the task, do the task, do the task, but to sit back and understand, why am I doing this? What does this mean to
mhm,
me? And just helping them open new doors that they've never thought to open up. How often do many of our clients even just really sit and connect with themselves and to understand their why for what they're doing? A lot of it is
mhm.
just survival instead of kind of grounding
Right?
themselves and feeling connected to their purpose. I don't know how many conversations I have where people are just, oh man, I just can't wait till the stage is over with this child. I just can't wait
Mhm,
till they're done with
mhm.
this. And to me, that's a hard thing for them to get through. But for me, I see it and think, boy, let's see how we can bring this to where you're in this with your child and you're actually enjoying the journey with them through this part of their life.
Mhm,
Because we
mhm,
only get to do this life once. And
mhm,
so let's find a way to help our clients connect as a whole person to this life experience, whether it's being a parent or an individual, or I mean, we take on so many identities as a person, and I love how
mhm,
we work through with that as well with our clients. But
mhm,
yeah, the whole person
mhm.
approach is healing to ourselves and to our clients.
Yes, right? Because if we're just coaching our clients and saying, okay, here's a plan of action, here are the things you can do to stop losing your temper with your kids, right?
Mhm, mhm,
And yet we're not taking a look at, okay, is there some nervous system activation at times? Or
absolutely.
are there some emotions here that often come up that maybe actually need to be dealt with for you, right? Because when we can look at potentially the cognitive or emotional or the other things going on, and we can create peace within those and we can sort, right, the actions can naturally change, you
Yes.
know And the other thing that's also true is there is a lot of value in quick wins, right? When we're coaching parents, especially if they're like a little overwhelmed and a little exhausted, there's also a lot of value, right, in some easy things to implement that allow them a little bit of space to then do the broader, deeper work as well. So it's just that's
Mhm.
what's nice. It's like there are so many options of how we can support our clients.
Yes, absolutely. And those are things that are just not naturally innate to us. So to teach
No.
them and to help them understand how to utilize these things, it's powerful. Yeah. So I have a daughter who's 15, and we're going through driver's training right now. And
Oh, so fun. It's like potty training and driver training are like these
oh
big
gosh.
things.
Yeah, so talk about nervous system activation, sitting
Oh
in
my
in
goodness.
the passenger side when you're used to being the driver's side, and you realize you just handed your child your life. Like, it's like
Oh my
your life is
gosh.
in their hands. And so definitely there's a lot of nervous system activation, and to know how to just kind of breathe through it, connect through it, realize why I'm sitting there in that passenger seat and allowing a 15-year-old my vehicle and my life at the same time. It's been, I've been able to utilize so much of what we've been learning in training to bring myself to a calm
Yeah.
state where now she feels confident because she's learned
Right.
that from me instead of
Right.
me being a total wreck and being like the whole time through, like, oh
Right.
my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, you almost hit, you almost, and just being able to be the mom in the passenger seat where I am feeling grounded and
Mhm.
supported myself, and to be able to give her that confidence she's a much better driver because I'm
Yes.
not putting on her all my stresses.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I've been really using so much this last little
Oh,
bit as we're going through driver's training.
thank goodness we can all learn to get better and better at these things, right?
Yes.
And in just a minute, Steph, I am going to have you share any last words and where people could find you as well. And I'll of course we'll have you back and interview you more about the work you do. But as you were talking, I was thinking a couple things. One, I was thinking I feel like I need to give a public apology to my oldest child who had to deal with all of my biggest anxieties, right? Like, oh, the first children. And I was actually thinking about when I was learning to drive and my mom handed the job off to my stepdad because he had a lot of patience and she could not handle my emotional ups and downs as we were driving because I was learning to drive a stick shift and I'd get
Oh,
instantly frustrated. It's like my emotions were all over the place. And my mom was just like, Mike, that was my stepdad, Mike, you can do it. And he would be so calm and so patient. And I would be up and down and all over the place. And he was just steady. So thank goodness when we can bring some steadiness to our kids because they will be up and down. They will be all over the place. And that's okay. Right.
uh-huh. Yes. Oh.
Okay. Okay, Steph. Yeah. Any last thoughts that you want to share? This has been such a great topic.
Yeah. So I just have to say the work that we do in Master Coach certification, just thank you. Like it has been so powerful for me as an individual. Just everything from Melanie coming in and teaching us
She's
to
so good.
oh,
Oh my
she
gosh.
is. I feel like I've found a whole new side of myself that I didn't know was there, that is just so beautiful to tap into. The work
Mhm.
that you teach us about how to use our nervous system or how to understand our nervous system and process things as a person, as a mother, all the different roles that we take on and that we have in this life. It's so powerful to be able to manage life in a different way. And I love that. It's so good. So yeah, master
Mhm.
certification has been so good for me. I love all that I'm learning in there and continue to learn. Um, yeah, I'm just sitting here just kind of enjoying all of the thoughts of it all. And it's just powerful. The work that we do as coaches is so important and so powerful. And to be able to help others to create and build a life that they want within their own homes or whatever their focus, whatever your niche is, whatever focus you have. But working with moms and daughters, I feel is just such a powerful, important place to be. And I love being
Mhm.
there.
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I want a couple last words that I'll share with you. Those of you listening is if you are a parent, a mom, a dad, and you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I have so much work to do. Here's the thing. You are probably doing a lot better than you think. We all have room to grow. And my recommendation for you is to just think about one small thing you can take away from this today. And it may even be as simple as being willing to just be still and ask your kids a question or two a little more often, something that small. And I really do believe that the work that we do as coaches to help our clients to be able to make peace with themselves, connect in their relationships, and influence others, it matters at a personal level. And it has a ripple effect because it impacts the way we do everything. It impacts communities, societies, the workplace, everything. So the work you do matters. Let's keep it up, coaches.
100%. Perfectly.
All right. Okay, Steph, what about if people want to hire you, want to learn more about you? Where can they go?
Yeah, so stephchaffee.com. It's STEPH and CHAFF, 2 Fs and 2 Es.com. And you can find me there on my website or hello@stephchaffee.com.
Can you say that again? My internet cut out right when you started.
That's what I wondered. You look like you were frozen for a second there. So
okay,
yes.
Steph, so where can people find you?
So they can find me at stephchaffee.com, which is STEPH and CHAFFEE, 2 Fs, 2 Es.com, or hello@stephchaffee.com.
Perfect. All right. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks, Steph, for a great conversation.
Oh, thank you, Molly.
All right. I'll talk with you all next time.
Thanks for listening to the Masterful Coach podcast. Are you ready to build your amazing business with Molly as your coach? Check out www.mollyclaire.com to find out about Masterful Coach Foundations and the 10K Accelerator Method. It's the ultimate support for you as a coach building your ideal life and business.